Hello everybody, Josh Couture back here again with another video, and today I bring you another Marvel video. Now lately I've been doing a lot of Marvel videos, which I hope people enjoy. Granted, a lot of people prefer my DC and Dragon Ball Z-esque type of videos, but I do like Marvel. Even though I don't do a Marvel video every week or every month, doesn't mean I dislike Marvel. So everybody who does not appreciate or like my Marvel content, well then, I don't know why you're listening. Nonetheless, let's get right down into this. Of course, I'm giving you my spoiler-free review of Marvel's Daredevil, the newest MCU creation that has been presented to us April 10th on Netflix. And I know I'm a little late to the party here. I mean, it's been only like 4 days since the premiere of the full season of Marvel's Daredevil, but I did state in the past that I was uninterested in reviewing Marvel's Daredevil because of my ininterest of, just what we've gotten from, Marvel's Daredevil. I mean, granted, MCU has been putting most of their promotion towards Age of Ultron, so of course everything else has kind of been shoehorned in there. So Marvel's Daredevil is something that they didn't really promote as much as I would have wanted. I mean, granted, it got a good promotion and a good word of mouth, but it didn't really hit me into like, oh, I gotta watch it right now kind of feeling in terms of like how I feel about Age of Ultron. Nonetheless, also on top of that, I'm not really a big Netflix guy. I know, as stupid as that sounds, it's true. But I did go to Paul's house where he had access to all the entire season. He gave them to me. I took them home, watched them, and fell in love with Marvel's Daredevil. It's definitely, I don't want to say better than the other MCU properties, but definitely on par. And and that has a lot to do with the fact of how gritty and violent and dark that this show gets. I mean, Netflix's Daredevil series is so amazing. It's perfectly dark. It has its good lighthearted comedic moments, and it definitely feels like the Batman Begins of the MCU. It's so perfectly done. It's precise. It's definitely accurate to the comics, and it's definitely very Frank Miller Daredevil. And on top of that, I definitely would say go out of my way here and definitely go out on a limb and essentially say, in my personal opinion, Marvel's Daredevil Netflix series is basically what Gotham should have been. It's so perfect, it's so well done, it's so precise and accurate to the character of Daredevil. It's everything I wanted out of Gotham. Granted, Gotham has its moments and it's good, and of course, obviously the best thing about it is, Robin Lord Taylor's performance as the Penguin, but what I really wanted was a great origin story of the rise of Batman. That's what I wanted, essentially a Batman year one, or a Batman 0 year, if you will, for Gotham. Nonetheless, we didn't really get that, but we got it with Marvel's Daredevil. It's so amazing to see the rise of Marvel's greatest vigilante turned hero. He's so fucking... Charlie Cox's performance as Matt Murdock / Daredevil is amazing. He's so cultivating as the main protagonist. It's just amazing to see him not only do his action sequences, but see him do the interrogation sequences and see him progress as the character of Daredevil. And it's just amazing to see his lows, his falls, and his rises. It's just amazing to see all those types of scenarios. And on top of that, we get amazing performances from other various characters, like the character Wilson Fisk, who's played by Vincent D'Onofrio. Before watching this series, a lot of people were hyping him, especially Paul. Before I got the series, and before he gave it to me, the number one thing he said was to watch Wilson Fisk, because he is the definitive character of this series. He's definitely the breakout character of the series, and watching the series, the first season, I can definitely say that. Wilson Fisk, Vincent's performance as Wilson Fisk, no offense to Michael Clark Duncan, because, the late Michael Clark Duncan, he obviously did a great job as Kingpin, but Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as Wilson Fisk is dark, gritty, violent, and very, very intimidating. I mean, I really, at first, before getting into this series, I thought that Wilson Fisk would be just a whatever character. I really wasn't expecting a lot out of his performance, because Vincent D'Onofrio, I've seen him in prior stuff, and I never really felt he was intimidating to me. I never felt intimidated by the actor, but after seeing him as Wilson Fisk, he's cold, he's just downright sociopathic, and he's obsessed with power, and it's just amazing to see him just work around and try to destroy the lore of Daredevil, specifically Matt Murdock, and it's just a pleasure to watch him go to work. And on top of that, we also get amazing other performances by various other characters and actresses, like for one, Karen Page, who's being played by Deborah Ann Woll, who I also felt was very breakoutish. I mean, granted, I was not a big fan of hers because I'm not really big on True Blood, but on top of that, the first time we get to see her arc and see how she becomes a part of the team, it's amazing to see her go down. She's amazing as Karen Page. Deborah as Karen Page is just a performance of a lifetime, if you will. I mean, granted, it's not the greatest character on the show, but it's just amazing to see her performance. I mean, it's just a pleasure. And that goes high and true with every other character that we get pretty much over the course of the season, like Eldon Henson's performance as Foggy and Rosario Dawson's performance as Claire Temple. They're all fucking awesome characters, and they fucking get amazing performances, and especially Eldon's performance as Foggy. I mean, granted, the character of Foggy is a comedic character, and I wasn't really expecting him to be as comedic as he was, but I think the great thing about his performance is that it's kind of like an undertoned comedic relief. I mean, when it comes to the MCU stuff, it's kind of like in your face and childish. The comedic comebacks, whether it be Tony Stark's nonsense or Thor's little remarks about Loki or whatever the fuck, or Steve Rogers, out of period kind of man. Kind of, stupidity, if you will. It's not really the kind of comedy that I really love, but the comedy that Foggy gives is so undertoned and not really in your face that you can appreciate it more in comparison to other comedic characters in the MCU. But on top of this, all these amazing performances, of course, the great story stands high and true amongst all these other great performances, which of course is the rise of Daredevil. And I think a lot of that also has to do with the flashback sequences that we get in comparison to real time, which is very Arrow-esque, which I definitely give kudos to MCU taking that element that the CW has kind of broke the doors down with, and also Batman Begins, where we got flashbacks intermingling with the real-time story. So we get, obviously, Matt Murdock's lawyer by day, crime fighter by night kind of storyline, and on top of that, we get flashbacks into Matt Murdock's life with his father, and of course, how he became the crime fighter that he would eventually become. So it's amazing that we got that with the MCU, because the MCU, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't really give us that much flashbacks. They're not really big on flashbacks. And I think it was just amazing that they took that little element from the DC universe and incorporated it with their universe, which I think was just golden. But nonetheless, without spoiling a lot of more content for you, I have to give this show I have to give it a 9 out of 10. It's so great. It's so amazing. Matt Murdock / Daredevil is an amazing character that I personally appreciate. And I was never the biggest hater of the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, but definitely this series blows that out of the water. It's so 10 times better than that movie, and Charlie Cox is awesome as Matt Murdock, and Vincent D'Onofrio is amazing as Wilson Fisk. And if anybody who has not seen this series, definitely check it out. It's up on Netflix. You can check out the entire season, and of course, this series will be a big opener for multiple other series within the MCU, like a Jessica Jones Marvel series, a Luke Cage Marvel series, a Iron Fist series, which will lead up into a eventual crossover miniseries titled The Defenders, which is very interesting. But I think the unfortunate thing about this being a setup for multiple other series is that will we get a second season to Marvel's Daredevil? Because granted, I know a lot of people are going to be very anticipating to see other series like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, but for me, after watching Marvel's Daredevil, I want to see more of Daredevil. I mean, I was just very unexpected to really get into this, which I definitely can say a lot, because, I mean, Marvel is definitely on a high, And as much as most of their stuff really right off the bat doesn't really intrigue me, when I dive into it, it's definitely gets me hooked. And after watching Marvel's Daredevil, I want to see more. I want to see a season 2. As much as I know Marvel fans are really anticipating Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, I'd rather see a season 2 to Daredevil than see those shows. I mean, granted, I'm definitely going to be checking out Iron Fist because I like the character, and I'm definitely going to be seeing The Defenders. But I find it very, very unlikely that I will be seeing Jessica Jones or Luke Cage. I mean, like, unless, like, the trailers or feedback blows the fuck up with those characters and those series, then I might check them out. But for the most part, more than likely, Marvel's Daredevil and Marvel's Iron Fist and The Defenders are more than likely the only Netflix series that I will be checking out and giving you reviews for. And all I can say is I hope they give us a second season for Marvel's Daredevil, or at least feature Daredevil within the cinematic universe. I mean, like, granted, I find it very unlikely that any of these characters will be featured in the big screen, but after seeing this series, I would love to see Daredevil in Civil War. That would be just... oh, that would just be glorious. It would be so amazing. Especially seeing as how they need the characters. Especially seeing as how Fox has X-Men. They can't really use the X-Men characters, so just put in Daredevil and just put him in Civil War, and you already got Spider-Man, so he's already going to be a factor. So that's just my little speculation. I'm pretty sure they already have, everything planned for Civil War, which, if I'm not mistaken, they're already starting to get into production for. So, nonetheless, Marvel's Daredevil is an A grade for me. It's definitely a 9 out of 10, maybe an 8.5, 9 out of 10, definitely around that rating mark. But overall, it's definitely a great series that people of Marvel, DC, comic book fans in general should definitely check out. And all I can really say is the best compliment that I can give this series is that A, it's the Batman Begins of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and B, it's essentially what I wanted out of Gotham. I'm just saying, this show is so Batman, it almost breaks my heart to the point where I want to just put the middle finger at Gotham for not being this show. Once again, I'm not bashing Gotham. It has its moments, and Robin Lord Taylor as the Penguin is amazing, but Marvel's Daredevil is basically what I wanted out of Gotham. But let me know in the comment section below what you personally thought about Marvel's Daredevil. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. What did you think about Charlie Cox's performance as Matt Murdock? What did you think about the story? How do you feel this is going to commingle with the rest of the MCU and the rest of the Netflix series? What are your anticipation for Marvel's aka Jessica Jones? And of course, let me know what you think about Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as the crime lord Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you personally thought about Marvel's Daredevil. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Been John 12.